What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Kevin Hoop Show. And boy, oh boy, do we have some good fights coming up with UFC 288. It's going to be popping. We've got Henry Cejudo versus Aljamain Sterling headlining the event. We've got the return of the legendary Kron Gracie. Big time fan of Kron Gracie, may I add. We've also got a super big fight as the co-main event, which in my opinion could be, something happening with the welterweight division. We could be seeing someone up next for the title shot, depending on who wins this. But we've got Gilbert versus Belal Muhammad. And to be honest, I'm a big fan of both of those guys. Maybe a little bit more on the side of Gilbert, but honestly, after Belal Muhammad's last fight against my homeboy Sean Brady, I'm a pretty big fan of Belal Muhammad as well. So I'm pretty equal in the likings there. And same thing with Cejudo and Aljamain. Big fan of both guys. I really started watching Henry Cejudo when I first got into the UFC. I saw him face TJ Dillashaw, and I was a big fan of TJ Dillashaw at the time, and he whooped his ass, and I was like, well, shit, I gotta fucking figure out who this Henry Cejudo guy is. And boy, oh boy, did he make a fucking name for himself. They call him Triple C for a reason. Same thing with Aljamain Sterling. I was a big fan of Petr Yan, and next thing you know, here comes this big DQ that happens, and I was like, man, obviously I really don't like a guy winning a title like that. For those of you that don't know, the Aljamain Sterling fight against Petr Yan the first time, Petr Yan kneed him while he was down. He was on his knees and basically on all fours, about to get doggy styled, and then Petr Yan hit him from the front, right on the head, kneed him right on the head, and was disqualified because of that, because in the UFC, that right there is illegal and not allowed. So he surrendered the belt basically over to Aljamain Sterling, and then fought Aljamain Sterling a second time, and that is where I got and gained a lot of respect for Aljamain Sterling. Not only did he just not, he showed up, but, he already had a fused neck or a big neck surgery before that disqualification. And the reason that you're not allowed to knee a downed opponent is because of a lot of neck injuries can happen because of that. I was kind of surprised that Aljamain Sterling was back in a pretty fast of time. And next thing you know, he shows up and honestly did not really look like the Aljamain Sterling that we saw in the first fight. Because in the first fight, just about all the rounds leading up to that DQ, Petr Yan was winning, in my opinion, and we did not see that Petr Yan in the second fight, and we saw a completely different Aljamain Sterling in that second fight as well. I also want to bring up the fight that Aljamain Sterling has had with Corey Sandhagen, which was before the Petr Yan fights. Now, I know it wasn't the most recent Corey Sandhagen that we've seen, because that Corey Sandhagen, I don't know if Aljamain would have beat him, but my gosh, was Aljamain Sterling looking really good back against that Corey Sandhagen fight, and that was one of the fights where he won. And I was like, all right, this dude can make a run. This dude's pretty good. He's like top 3 at least. And look at him now. He's fucking at the top of the division. Time to switch gears, go over to the other side of the fence. We've got Henry Triple C Cejudo. He hasn't been in the game much. For those of you that are relatively new to the UFC, that are new to the combat sports game, Henry Cejudo is a ex-Olympic gold medalist wrestler. And for those of you that don't know much about Olympic wrestling, it's one of the hardest things to do almost when it comes to wrestling, which is, you could say that for NBA, you could say that for other sports, but wrestling isn't necessarily the US's best sport. We really excel in swimming, we really excel in basketball, we really excel in certain sports, and wrestling is not one of them. I believe it's probably one of the sports that we have the least gold medals in when it comes to all sports. I think that the US does not have as many gold medals in wrestling compared to basketball or compared to swimming or compared to other sports. I think one of the reasons because of that is not only because of fucking Russia, but it's also more of an international sport. There are certain sports that are kind of Americanized or, only really seen in America. I think because of that, we see that wrestling, maybe not one of the most entertaining sports. It doesn't have a big crowd behind it. It doesn't have the most competitive people fighting to be the best. And I think because of that, we see that suffer. So the fact that Henry Cejudo has a gold medal in wrestling, to me, earns him a lot of fucking respect. I don't care what the weight division he's in. It doesn't matter to me. If you have a gold medal in wrestling, you have a lot of my respect. And not only does he have that accolade, he also has the accolade of beating one of the GOATs in mixed martial arts in general, Mighty Mouse, aka Demetrius Johnson. Obviously, these two have had a big back and forth. Back in 2018 was the second fight where Demetrius Johnson lost to Henry Cejudo. And back in April of 2016, that is when these two first had their first matchup. And that is when Demetrius Johnson knocked out Henry Cejudo in, I believe, it was the first round, actually. It was a first round KO, which pretty impressive from Demetrius Johnson, a.k.a. Mighty Mouse, a.k.a. the GOAT of the 135-pound division. But I think that, their back and forth was really good for both of them. Not only was this division kind of like not suffering necessarily, but these two, when they were going back and forth, it was probably one of the most exciting times in this division. And obviously, we've had guys like Dominic Cruz in this division, who Henry Cejudo has also beat. That was his actual most recent fight before he ended up kind of retiring or, taking a leave of absence or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But either way, Henry Cejudo has done his fucking fair share in this division. Not only, did he beat one of the GOATs that the MMA community considers one of the GOATs, but he's also got a gold medal. He has also been one of the only people to be a two-time different weight division champion at the same time. That's why they call him Triple C. He had two belts. He had two UFC belts as well as a gold medal. So, Triple C, 3 different championships, and his last name Cejudo. So it kind of fits. For those of you that didn't really know where the Triple C came from, but just I might have that story a little bit wrong, but either way, I know that the Triple C comes from him having a lot of championships. Whether one of the championships I messed up on, either way, an absolutely phenomenal resume that Henry Cejudo has got himself. And I honestly, when it comes to my prediction for this one, I'm gonna go Henry Cejudo, but I also really, it's gonna be a close one. That's all I've got to say. It's gonna be a close one. I'm going to be voting and putting my bet on Henry Cejudo. Speaking about bets, let's bring up DraftKings real quick. So, as you guys can see here, we've got Kron Gracie versus Charles Jourdain, Masfer Elvin versus Diego Lopez, Jessica Andrade, which is going to be a good fight, going up against, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name because I know I'm going to butcher it, Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns, Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo. I'm going to be putting a little parlay down now, guys. I'm going to be going Kron Gracie on the plus 145. Add more. Don't worry. I'm going to go... This one's honestly going to be really hard for me, guys. Belal Muhammad or Gilbert Burns. Belal Muhammad's the favorite. Ooh. He just got done Ramadan. I got to go Belal Muhammad just because he's over there. I know he's been training with Khabib and everyone. He wants that fucking title shot. That's the reason I'm going for Belal Muhammad. Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo. We're going to be going with Henry Cejudo, baby. 3-fight parlay. Let's put some money down. We're going $1 there. We're going to go, actually, no. We're going to go $2 there. We're going to go $1 there, $1 there, or $1 on Cejudo. And then we're going to be putting a lot of money on this parlay because why the frick not? How much money is left in the bank? A total payout. Place 3 bets for $4. All right, so I can put another $6 on the parlay. All right, total payout of $66. Not too bad. If you guys want yourself a little parlay, that's it, baby. We've got $2 on Kron Gracie, $1 on Belal Muhammad, $1 on Henry Cejudo, $4 on the fight parlay. Let me know who you guys think is going to win. Shout out to Kron Gracie for coming back. He says he's trying to get this fight game pumping again. So let's see what's going to happen this UFC 288 this Saturday. Do not forget, guys, we're going to be doing a live watch party for UFC 288. We're going to be going live at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tune in then. It's going to be a good one. We always have a good time. We're going to be probably watching 1 or 2 prelim fights and then getting right started into that main card with Kron Gracie. It's going to be a good one. one, guys. We might get some food. We're gonna have some fun. It's always a good time when you guys are here. Shout out to everybody who comes over out to the watch parties. You guys know who you are. I will expect to see you this Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, guys, do not forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to comment who you think is going to win tomorrow at UFC 288. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button if you are new. And with that being said, guys, as usual, have a great fucking day, baby.